Hey everybody, Parallel here and welcome back to Star Trek Online. This video is a continuation of my Jem'Hadar character playthrough of the new Gamma Quadrant Story Arc. This is going to be episode 4 in the series, which is called Doomed to Repeat. Let's go ahead and pull up the episode here and see what we're going to get involved in. This has been a great story arc so far, and I'm very much anticipating what we're going to find out in this episode. Just a quick recap, we just completed the search in the last episode, and we found out that the founders have some kind of relationship with the Hur'q, where they have some technology that is allowing them to summon the Hur'q or attract the Hur'q to planets. And we found out that Odo was a little bit deceiving in his usage of this, because he actually had planted one of these devices on Bajor to attract the Hur'q and to pull the Federation into the war against the Hur'q, which apparently has been very costly for the Dominion, because their fleet has been severely decimated, and Odo is kind of controlling the remnants of the fleet. Although we did find out also in the last episode that the female changeling has her own fleet still as well that was kind of hidden from Odo and that Odo didn't know about. So obviously Odo is still in the dark when it comes to, the founders, still not exactly sharing all the information with him. So that was a very, very good episode, and I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with this. What is Cryptic going to do as far as what the Hur'q relationship is with the Dominion? Are we going to find out what's going on? So yeah, very much looking forward to this episode. Just real quick before we start, I do want to give an update on my character, and what I've been doing off screen since the last episode. Nothing too major, but one significant change is that you may notice that all of my gear has been upgraded to Mark 15. And that is because it is currently an item upgrade weekend event going on right now. So this is very important. If you have not upgraded your gear, now is the time to do it. Go craft up those tech upgrades. If you've been buying Phoenix boxes, use your Phoenix upgrades. Use whatever you can. Just buy them off the exchange if you can, because they're very much worth it, because everything during this event gives double technology points. And it was pretty crazy. Just using one Phoenix tech upgrade was almost enough. It gave me about like 80% of the progress for going from Mark 14 to 15. So yeah, tech upgrade weekends are awesome. Always save all your tech upgrades for these events and use them, especially now to get all of your stuff up to Mark 15. I still have a lot to go through on my other characters as well. I started upgrading, but still a long ways to go before the weekend event is done here. So it is a pretty significant upgrade, guys. If you're a new player and you're not aware of how the how the mark levels work with weapons, with all gear, is Mark 1 through Mark 12 gear is kind of a linear progression, and then when you go from Mark 12 to Mark 13, it starts to almost become an exponential progression. So Mark 13 is a huge upgrade over Mark 12, and Mark 14 is a huge upgrade over 13, and 15 over 14. So it kind of spikes up after you get past Mark 12. Mark 12 is kind of, your starter end game gear. That's usually, like, for example, when you started your Jem'Hadar character, your bug ship was all equipped with Mark 12 gear. Just upgrading that, just the mark level from 12 to 13 to 14, if you can, as much as you can, if you can get all the way to 15, is a massive, massive upgrade for your potential. And so that is very important to at least upgrade your mark level. If you are a new player, don't worry too much about upgrading your quality, like from very rare up to, gold quality or epic. That is a lot more expensive to do. And, eventually you will want to do that, but I would say first just focus on getting all your gear up to Mark 15. That's your primary goal, just because that you get such a huge increase in power just from going up the mark levels, even without a quality increase. So I definitely recommend at least doing that during the tech upgrade weekend. Yeah. And that being said, if you're wondering what to upgrade first, I would say definitely upgrade your weapons first. You get the largest improvement there. After that, you can probably go for like your consoles. Consoles require typically a lot less, tech upgrade points to get to the next level. So those are usually easier to upgrade, but also they give you less of a return. It's not like a huge difference on the consoles. And then you could worry about like your space set. The space set doesn't make a huge difference. Upgrading your shield is kind of nice because it does give you more capacity, so that might be more worth it. So yeah, I kind of do it in that order, but definitely go for weapons first because that will give you a huge boost. I did get a little bit lucky upgrading my crystalline torpedo, which was a Mark 13 blue, and it went all the way from blue up to to ultra rare. So that was kind of cool. Had some good luck there. But otherwise, as you can see, so everything's up to Mark 15, so hopefully we will have a bit of a boost in our power for this episode. And you know what? I didn't even upgrade my ground gear yet. Huh. I totally forgot to do that. I'll go quickly do that before we get started. But yeah, I just wanted to give some recommendations there for, if you're a new player and you want to know like what to upgrade first, that would be my sort of recommendations. And like I said, just go for Mark level first. It's actually not that expensive. It's not exorbitantly expensive just to get your gear up to Mark 15. Yep, so I do have a couple of Phoenix tech upgrades here I can get. We'll do that real quick. But yep, so yeah, this is well worth it. Upgrading your ground gear is probably a less, a less priority item, as it's not going to be that big of a difference. But as you can see, it only takes like one Phoenix Tech upgrade on upgrade weekend to go all the way to the next Mark level. So it's not bad at all. If you have some Phoenix upgrades lying around, it's worth your it's worth it, to upgrade everything you can during the event. I wonder if it's worth upgrading. I want to eventually get the not cool shield in this character, so I don't know if I'm going to upgrade the rest, but I did want to at least upgrade my weapon, so we'll just leave it at that for now. Alright guys, so yeah, that is the the status of my character since last time, so we'll see how this Mark 15 gear does in the mission. Let's go ahead and hail and get this started. Yeah, I am super excited, man. These missions have been excellent so far. And I'm pretty well hooked on this storyline.
Founder Odo has something of interest in the Masan system. Something the other founders want no one to know about. Even one of their own. It is unsettling. The founder and I will travel to the Masan system on your vessel. The Cardassians and Starfleet are sending ships to assist us as well. Be advised, after Karema, relations with these allies are somewhat strained. If things become volatile, friends could quickly become foes on this mission. Victory is life.
Yeah, that was another thing that happened in the last episode that was interesting, was the Karema tried to secede from the Dominion, which is probably a really dumb idea because the female changeling's fleet was actually like firing on the Karema as they were trying to leave a planet. So yeah, that was a bad idea on the Karema's part, but that did kind of strain the relationship with the other races, especially once they found out about the Hur'q summoning devices, or whatever they're called, the technology. And they also are hinting at the founders are still keeping secrets from Odo, but this is good. Odo's getting some motivation here to finally figure out what's going on behind the scenes. So looks like we found something in the Masan system. Let's go ahead and accept it.
Victory is life. The founder has no need of...
I wanted to check what the reward is as well. All of the previous episodes we've had a unique reward, and it looks like this one we do as well. So this one is a universal kit module, the Fek'Ihri Chaos Blaze Mark 12. Fek'Ihri Chaos Blaze. Fire AoE damage and confusion. Generates a patch of fire at the target's location. Does this sound like exothermic induction field? Are they really giving exothermic induction field to like every career? That's kind of a bummer. I feel bad for my science alt. They lost sensor scan to TACs. TAC captains now get sensor scan. And now every class can get exothermic induction field, which is like one of the best science powers out there for damage. Although then again, as a science character, maybe you can use this and exothermic induction field, stack them up. That could be pretty sick. So, okay, so yeah, we'll have to try that out when we can, once we finish the mission. All right, where do we got to go? Go to the Masan system. So I'm guessing we have to go back to the Gamma Quadrant. The last few episodes have all been in the Gamma Quadrant, so let's head out to the wormhole. We'll have to see if Garrick and Kira are back in this episode. Yeah, let's just head out into sector space. I have to say, guys, I've really fallen in love with this Vanguard warship. This thing is awesome, and this is really the first ship I've had with where I've had high level or decently high level Miracle Worker bridge officer abilities, and I'm really loving both of these abilities. The mixed armaments is awesome, and the narrow sensor bands is crazy. They both really ramp up the damage with a nice big Cat 2 damage boost. So very much liking these, and just the ship itself has been working great. The wingmen are pretty cool. They're at least nice and responsive as far as like a lot more responsive than like hangar pets. So yeah, all good stuff. Really loving this ship all around. Okay, so I was thinking that, it's funny, in the last episode I was looking around the Gamma Quadrant map and I saw this ancient Dominion station, and as soon as they said we're going to be investigating that, I was like, I wonder if that's that ancient Dominion station, and sure enough, that's where we're going. And that's going to be a little bit of a ways of a fly, so we're going to go ahead and use our slipstream. Looks like the Gamma Quadrant Battlezone is an active state right now. We've got the 3 different events going on that you can join. I haven't done a video on the battleground yet. I probably will at some point here, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just, as soon as you see these sectors come up, all you need to do is fly to that sector, and you can queue up for that event. And there's 3 different events. There's the Planetary Assault, the Sinister Gathering, and Break the Circle. Once you progress all 3 of these to 100%, then the zone-wide event appears, and then you can queue up for that. It seems like a pretty decent system, honestly. It's been working fine. It's functional. My only complaint so far, the couple times that I've done it, is that the rewards have been pretty lackluster, honestly. For the amount of time it takes to actually advance this to the final phase and participate in the final phase, I really think the rewards need to be, significantly increased. Let's put it that way. All right, here we go, guys. Doomed to repeat. Let's start it.
Only a few founders know about this station here. It's very old and very well concealed. From what I can tell, the Dominion studied alien life here, including the Hur'q. We may be able to recover useful tactical data on them from the station's computers.
Okay, so it's like an old research station. Is that it right there in the asteroid? Whoops.
Only a few. They shouldn't be a problem. Take us into comms range and open a hailing frequency. I'll deal with whoever's in charge on those ships.
Okay. He is a founder.
So far, so good. They're not targeting us.
This is weird. Whatever happened to the, no changeling has ever harmed another? Why would they should not be firing on, like, Odo.
You do not have authorization to enter this system.
Uh-oh, she's here.
This is unacceptable. You've shown a singular talent for annihilating the Hur'q. I suggest you return to that before my patience with your disobedience expires.
Wow. She's not cutting Odo any slack, but she used to be a little more accepting of Odo. Okay, so Founder Odo wishes to speak.
There's no need for this posturing, Founder. We're here on official business under my authority.
Odo, it seems to be a day for defiance and bad habits. You do not have the authority to grant access to this system. It is restricted to all but those of the highest level, a level you do not possess. Now then, I suggest you leave immediately.
That's interesting. So the highest level, there was never really in the show, in Deep Space Nine, actual show, I don't recall there ever being like ranks or levels among the founders, at least not like in a strict sense. It was kind of implied that, some founders had more authority than others, but I don't know. So I wonder if there are some kind of ranking among the founders. But when you're in the Great Link, does that really make sense? I don't know. Okay, so Force on another Dominion vessel.
Fire to disable. Odo must not be harmed.
They're actually going to fire on us? Okay, your mistake. They got a couple... Whoa.
Dominion forces, this is Counselor Garrick aboard the Tane. Cease hostilities.
And the Defiance there.
Consider that your first and only warning.
We must protect the Founder. All ships, disengage!
My cannons are still going off. That's pretty funny. It was like stuck in fire mode.
An ancient research facility, and with a very important guardian as well. It appears coming in under cloak was a sound tactical decision, though we were expecting to catch any Hur'q off guard, not the leader of the Dominion.
Interesting. Yeah, that is pretty interesting that the Cardassians have a cloak now. I've talked about this before, but the only explanation I can think of for them having a cloak is that they must have gotten it from their alliance with the Tal Shiar, when the Obsidian Order and the Tal Shiar were allied against the Founders, and that one sort of mission that ended in basically tragedy as they were all wiped out. And it was kind of funny they got wiped out because one of the leaders on the Romulan side was taken over by a founder, or replaced by a founder, shape-shifting. So that's all I can think of why Cardassians all of a sudden have cloaking technology. But yes, your timing and arrival was acceptable.
High praise indeed. This station must be of significant value to your rulers. The Founder was willing to fire on one of her own to protect its secrets. I'm looking forward to discovering what's inside.
Yeah, that said, I don't know if this was that important of a station. Why would they only have 2 ships protecting it? It seems like she'd have her whole fleet here.
Since when does the Founder stand guard duty, Odo?
Yeah.
She doesn't. Let's find out what she's hiding.
We don't have a lot of time. We may have held off the Founder for now, but she'll be back, and she'll bring friends. Let's get down there and find what we came here for, before every Jem'Hadar in the Quadrant shows up.
I couldn't agree more, Captain. Why don't you and the Ambassador join the away team while I remain on guard with my fleet?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to find some secrets, Garrick.
On any other day, I'd be the first to beam down. However, after the Karema incident, I believe both the Captain and the Ambassador need to discover the truth of this station together. Call it a trust-building exercise.
Yeah, right. I don't trust Garrick. I wonder if he already knows. Maybe he already has some spies or intelligence on what's in there.
Captain Kira makes a good point. Let's get this over with before it gets even more complicated than it already is.
Alright, sounds good. Let's beam down. Yep, let's beam down with our full Jem'Hadar squad. And a Founder.
Looks like the station's running on auxiliary power. We've got life support, basic lighting, not much else. If we're gonna get anything useful out of this relic, we'll need to get the main power back online.
Okay. That's cool. So we got Kiro, we got Odo, and we got Dukan Rex down here with us.
Stay vigilant. We have no idea what to expect here.
All right. Let's look around and turn on the main power here. I don't know, does this station look very Dominion-y? This room looks like the room where Tasha Yar and, what's his name were in. In that other, episode. Which I'm not remembering the name of right now. It was that anniversary episode with the Enterprise C. Cool episode, by the way. But is this like the same map? Am I going crazy? Okay.
Well done. Main power is back online. We'll be able to access other systems, including the data core. Let's find an access console and see what's in there. Hopefully the data files aren't corrupted beyond repair.
Okay, gotta find the data core. Got a stash of white over here. Can we grab some of this for the road? Can never have too much white. Well, we don't have a Vorta with us, so we have no way to open it. I wonder if these white containers are like genetically encoded to the Vorta or something. Like there must be some locking mechanism or something, so like a Jem'Hadar DNA couldn't open it or something. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, that's just a chair. I thought it was like someone's head sticking up. All right, so we got to access the computer. Hey, we can sit in the chair. Let's sit in the chair while we're accessing the computer. There we go. Hey guys, don't step on my chair. I can't access the computer. Okay, so that was pointless.
This terminal is in poor shape. None of the files are accessible. Considering their age, I'm not terribly surprised. The Founders wouldn't keep a place like this hidden to protect dust and broken files. Let's check all the data terminals and consoles in the area. That one over there looks reasonably intact.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something here worth protecting. Let's see, we can read log or we can read log.
Research report 4121.63, Dominion Reckoning. My fellow Founders, the Mesan research station is fully operational. As we continue to add worlds to our sphere of influence, our studies of xenobiology become more important. We must know all we can of both friend and foe. We need every advantage we can find if we are to achieve true dominion.
Interesting.
Our Premier project is underway. You'll recall the recently discovered race of tree dwellers, hunted as we once were. Genetic engineering of these solids has produced considerable results. Their intelligence has increased by a factor of 3 so far. We predict this species will be the first of many loyal servitors and vassals.
Wasn't that the Vorta? Didn't they have like they were like some primitive species until the Founders came along and then sort of manipulated their genes to produce the Vorta? At least that's kind of the legend the Vorta believe anyways. That's why they think of the Founders as gods, because they brought them out of their primitive life.
She's talking about the Vorta.
Yeah.
The date she gave was nearly 2,000 years ago, not long after the Dominion was founded. This facility's older than we thought. Much older.
2,000 years? Holy crap, how long do changelings live? And, So this is a 2,000-year-old station. That's nuts. 2,000 years.
Research Report 4653.15. Dominion Reckoning. Our scouts have discovered an interesting species of solids at the edge of the Dominion. They are a species of sentient insectoids that live primarily underground. We may not have detected them were it not for a thorough geological scan.
That sounds
Initial
like the
studies have
Hur'q.
revealed that these solids are based on germanium.
Yep, it's gotta
I've
be the Hur'q.
attached bioscan data we collected on them for your review. I've dispatched a research unit to study these burrowers further. They may be just what we need for the military initiative.
Fascinating.
Burrowing sentient insectoids. Germanium-based. She must be talking about the Hur'q. Judging by the date, the Founders made first contact with the Hur'q nearly 2,000 years ago.
That is pretty crazy. Let's see if we can find more data. Now, my question is, so if the Dominion found the Hur'q or genetically manipulated them into weapons, how did they get to, the Klingons? Because the Hur'q were the ones who stole the Sword of Kahless, right? And the Klingons fought the Hur'q, way back when. So how does that tie in with the Klingons? I mean, did they somehow get through the wormhole? And I don't even remember, has the wormhole always been open, or did the prophets open it at a certain point in time? I don't remember that. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know if that was really explained very well. I don't know if the wormhole has always been there, for thousands and thousands of years, and we just had the Federation just didn't know about it until it was discovered, or did the prophets open it at a certain point of time? I don't know.
Research Report, Dominion date 7021.27. More data has arrived on the cadre species 484 designation, burrows. Their world's unusual orbital path has taken it out of the habitable zone. As a result, the burrows have retreated underground and entered a state of hibernation.
Okay. Species 484. I wonder if there's any relation to species 8472.
While dormant, a smaller cervital race tends to the burrows. They also maintain their shared habitat and technology. I've instructed the field team to take advantage of their dormancy period, and they are now conducting aggressive studies of these intriguing solids. My team initiated first contact protocols with the borrowers prior to their mass dormancy. They found them to be friendly and intelligent, if not willful. We've identified a common element in their food supply. Manipulation of this element may prove useful in subjugating them.
Intelligent? Friendly? Yeah, that's weird. I didn't know that they were intelligent. I mean, I assume they had some intelligence, but it probably more like a hive type situation, or like there's some queen or something controlling them, where the drones didn't have any intelligence. But yeah, they're identifying them as friendly too.
Unbelievable. It sounds like the Founders made first contact with the Hur'q in order to find a way to conquer them. It's like Quark says, the bigger the smile, the sharper the knife.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep searching. So yeah, the Dominion's been around for a long time then. If it's been around for 2,000 years, that's a lot longer than Starfleet.
Research Report 7903.01, Dominion Reckoning. Cadre Species 468, designation Jem'Hadar, is a massive success. They will be the strong arm of our Dominion, guided by our cunning, brilliant Vorta. The toil of these vassals will allow us to spend more time in the link with those we hold most dear.
Interesting, yeah. So they wanted these servitor species so they could spend more time in the link. Yeah, that makes sense. Just have the Vorta and the Jem'Hadar do everything for you. She sounds so proud.
The birth of the Jem'Hadar, as seen through a Founder's eyes. Interesting. No mention of the Hur'q, however. Their designation number was lower than ours. They were our predecessors. Perhaps something went wrong? Something that led the Founders to reject and abandon them for a different species. Us.
Huh, I was actually pretty close in my speculation in the last episode. I was like, you know, maybe the Hur'q were, you know, like an experiment that failed, and they wanted a different, you know, more intelligent species like the Jem'Hadar. Although I guess maybe the Hur'q were intelligent, so I'm even more interested to find out what it was that about the Hur'q that made that experiment fail. So this is a lot of cool backstory here. I've got a few more consoles, looks like, over here. But this is, yeah, so now... But now the female changeling's going to know we found all of this information out. I wonder how she's going to react, because, I mean, she must have realized when she pulled out that, you know, we were going to investigate, and Odo was going to find out all this, you know, all this history.
Research report Dominion date 8183.67. The burrowers have emerged once again, and in a hostile state. They have taken to the stars, moving from sector to sector, attacking anyone that crosses their path. Their goal is not one of conquest, but of consumption. They leave nothing but dead worlds in their wake.
So they emerged after their slumber, and now they're attacking everything. But what happened? Did they try to... I mean, because initially they were intelligent and friendly. What did the Dominion do, or what did the Founders do to them that made them change?
Though we do not understand their newfound savagery, we have found a use for it. When the burrowers set their sights on a world, we offer the inhabitants a choice. Those that submit to our Dominion rule are defended by the Jem'Hadar. Those that don't serve as an object lesson to others.
Yeah, we've seen that tactic before, yep.
So, the Founders have been using the Hur'q to manipulate others for some time now. Bend the knee to the Dominion, or we'll stand back and let them ravage your world. Only now something's different. Something's changed. They can't keep the Hur'q in line with the Jem'Hadar anymore. And we're all paying the price.
Indeed. Okay. So let's find out
Research
more.
report 8532.38. Our scouts have returned from a wormhole expedition. The solid races on the other side are primitive and unremarkable, save for one. They are called Klingons, and show a singular talent for violence, one that rivals our own Jem'Hadar. Left unchecked, these savage creatures could become dangerous enemies.
So this is a much later research report, and yep, but that's actually pretty cool about the Klingons, because yeah, the Jem'Hadar definitely always had a respect for the Klingons, and it sounds like the Founders did as well, as a, you know, as a warrior race. Except for the Klingons actually evolved that way, you know, I guess more naturally, whereas the Jem'Hadar were, you know, genetically manipulated to be that way.
While the Klingons are too willful to subjugate, their genetic material could produce viable cohorts to the Jem'Hadar, or their replacements. We have begun development of a new cadre species, designation Fek'Ihri, using demons from Klingon folklore for inspiration.
Whoa.
As with Jem'Hadar, we have bound them to our service with the White. We will test them in combat on the Klingons themselves.
Whoa. Okay. So this is getting into even like Klingon backstory. So the Klingons believing in the Fek'Ihri was actually was actually a species from the Founders that they had sent. So they must have had some contact with the Klingons way back in time. That's interesting, because that means they had a big influence on like Klingons, you know, in their lore and their belief in like Fek'Ihri but if the Fek'Ihri, but they were also addicted to the White. That is weird. That's really strange.
Research report supplemental entry 8671.71 Dominion Reckoning. Somehow the Fek'Ihri have broken the hold of the White and turned on their rightful masters. Most of our research team were killed. Intelligence reports suggest a union between the Fek'Ihri and a Klingon warlord known as Mullah. Perhaps this will lead to a state of mutually assured destruction on Quonos. One can only hope.
Interesting. So, man, so this is a lot of influence on early Klingon development. Like their whole religion and everything was based around this. But how long have Klingons had space travel? That's crazy. I mean, they must have had it when they were fighting the Hur'q.
So it would seem. Only they lost control of them, despite the use of Ketracel White. Based on what we know about Fek'Ihri, it seems the price they paid for their freedom was insanity. They became the monsters they were based on.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe they, once they ran out of White, they went insane and became monstrous, I guess. Unfortunate for all concerned.
Learning about these Fek'Ihri has given me much to consider. They defied their gods and rejected the White. They were strong, but not strong enough. I can't help but wonder, could the Jem'Hadar succeed where the Fek'Ihri failed? Do we have the strength of body and mind to stand apart from the gods? An interesting question for a later time. For now, there is only duty to the Founders.
Yeah, And they're still not haven't explained much about the Hur'q either. But I could see the Hur'q also getting through the wormhole then if they had contact with the Klingons way back when. Okay, victory is life, Elder first. Wow. So that's actually a lot of backstory, a lot of lore there on how this influenced the Klingons. So the Dominion had a huge impact on the development of the Klingon Empire, because a lot of their early their religion and everything was based off Kahless and Fek'Ihri and Fek'Ihri and all of that stuff. Okay, so one more log here.
Research report 9076.23. Final entry. I am weary. Soon I'll return to the Great Link, and I will be glad to be rid of this place. The borrowers have emerged again. We can barely control them this time. The Jem'Hadar were able to divert their onslaught at great cost. Rather than counterattack, they went through the wormhole to seek easier prey.
Okay. So they did, so it sounds like the Jem'Hadar kind of fought them off to the point, and they kind of retreated through the wormhole, and that must be when they went and invaded the Klingons.
Our agents in the other quadrants report that the burrow assault was a sweeping one, going as far as Kronos. Hopefully they'll devour every atom of that wretched planet. The burrowers will eventually return to dormancy. Strangely, it appears that some of their forces intend on remaining in the other quadrants. It seems they have a long-term goal: galactic devastation.
So they steered the Hur'q into the other quadrant, yeah.
Yes, they knew the Hur'q problem was getting worse even then. Instead of preparing or seeking allies, they expanded the Dominion. And when the Hur'q re-emerged, they tried to deal with it on their own, and failed. Their arrogance may lead to the end of the Dominion. We need to get this data to the Alliance, all of it, even the damaged and corrupted files. There has to be information we can use in here.
Agreed.
I'm picking up something on my tricorder. There was a massive power spike on a lower deck, and now I'm reading a large number of systems cycling up. Something's happening down there.
Okay. We should investigate.
Agreed. Take your team and Captain Kira down to investigate. I'll remain here and pull as much of the data as possible. We won't get another chance at this.
Yeah. Why do I think the Hur'q is not going to want us to get away with all this information? So yeah, it was actually, while that was going, there was a mention of a name in one of those logs, a Klingon Molor. And so I looked it up on the wiki here. So Molor was a hated tyrant who ruled Kronos during the 9th century. He was said to be so strong that no man could oppose him but one, Kahless the Unforgettable. Okay, so Kahless, that's when Kahless came and must have defeated him. And that's when Kahless's sort of legend started. And then it must be Kahless ruled during that time when the Hur'q came over from, from the wormhole. So that kind of follows. It makes sense. Ooh.
We must be close to the core. Hope we don't have to leave in a hurry. There's no way our ships can lock onto us down here with transporters.
Why not? Not an optimal exit strategy.
Tell me about it. Let's stay focused on the mission. Now that we're closer to the signal, I'm getting better readings on my tricorder. I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure everything that came online down here has some sort of medical purpose.
So we can't beam out. Why didn't we bring some pattern enhancers? We've used them in every episode so far, and the one time we don't bring our pattern enhancers, we can't beam out.
I'm still uncertain about Odo. I need to be sure he's still not a part of all this.
Yeah, what are your concerns, Captain?
The Odo I knew wouldn't have risked Bajor like that. This Odo seems arrogant and reckless, even dangerous.
We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, like the Jem'Hadar is going to keep an eye on the Founder. It's more like, I should be saying something more like, yo, Kira, shut up. Founders are infallible. Don't dare question Odo. This is not what a Jem'Hadar would be saying right now. Yeah, I think Cryptic really needs to update some of this dialogue to recognize if you're a Jem'Hadar or not. Oh, cutscene maybe? Are these supposed to be the Fek'Ihri? Is it Fek'Ihri or Fek'Ihri? I can't really tell because it's Fek'Lar, right? Fek'Lar was the, I'm gonna have to wiki this too. Yeah, Fek'Lar, yeah, he was a humanoid. He was the guardian of Grethor, yes, that's where the dishonored souls go. I guess it doesn't, yeah. In the wiki page, it does mention that in Star Trek Online, the Fek'Ihri strongly resemble Fek'Lar. Okay. They do kind of resemble him, so I'm betting this is not going to go well. As soon as I use this, we have like a whole like a whole storage bay of stasis pods here. This is not good. Let's examine them. Sure. What could go wrong?
Well, that answers one question. These are medical stasis pods. Judging by what we heard upstairs, the occupants are...
The Fek'Ihri.
It gets worse. I'm picking up life signs ahead. I'll bet some of the stasis pods down here have opened. The Dominion made the Fek'Ihri to kill Klingons. I'm not expecting a warm welcome.
It'll be a good day to die. For them. Ah.
Worf and Martok need to see this.
Indeed. Yeah, what would be worse reaction to all this stuff? How the Dominion, like, screwed with, like, early Klingon history. See some red dots. I knew that was going to happen eventually. Hey, here's some white containers. Can I have these? So what is this? Examine the machinery, huh?
I'm picking up traces of Ketracel white in these tanks.
Wow.
The Dominion probably manufactured it here to keep the Fek'Ihri in line, and took it with them when they left the facility. So, we have a station full of angry Fek'Ihri with no way to pacify them.
Yeah, we should keep moving. So these are like Ketracel white vats, huh? This is like a production facility.
We've got company, and they don't look friendly.
Or Ravager, okay. Ow. Great, they can knock you down.
We're lucky there were only a few of them. I don't want to be around if all of these Fek'Ihri wake up. Let's see if we can find some way to keep the rest of these pods from opening.
Sounds good to me. But so those are Ravagers, so I wonder if that is because there's those space vessels.
Enemy target
Are they just like teleporting around, or is that lag? But yeah, there was the space vessels were called Ravagers as well. So are the like the Fek'Ihri like the leaders of the Hur'q? Is that what's going on here? Or do they have an alliance of some sort?
By the prophets.
Oh crap. Yeah, they are they are waking up. Man, there's tons of stasis pods in here. This ain't good.
More incoming. We need an exit plan. Fast.
Odo Takira, we're on our way to assist you.
They can spit acid and stuff. Whoa. Slave Master, what are they doing here? That's like an Orion Slave Master. Any more around here? Still see red dots. Are they above us? Must be above us. Hey Kira, you coming? There we go. Whoa, okay. There was someone down there. Whoa, more tanks are opening up.
Nerys, are you...
I'll manage. Let's get out of here while we can.
Victory is life.
So is Raptogino, but I don't say it every 5 seconds.
I was gonna say, that's Dukan Rex is here. I didn't realize he was still with us.
I think we've worn out our...
I didn't click anything that time.
I think we've worn out our welcome. Garrick informs me that a number of unidentified vessels are emerging from hidden bays throughout the station. To make matters worse, the Hur'q have arrived. They're beginning to assault the station as we speak, and I don't need to tell you how that will end. It's time to leave.
Let's not go back yet. I want to look around. Because this is a really big room, and I still see some red dots around here. I get the feeling there's still some enemies wandering around. Enslaved Hordling. Okay, I guess nothing else here. Why there's a objective up here, lower level. Is there a lower level that I missed somewhere? There's something back there. It's like overseer, attendant. Okay, there are still some guys here. Oops, I didn't mean to bring in those guys. So where did all these guys come from? Did they spawn behind us somehow? But we were all through here, so I don't know what we would have missed. I don't know why we missed this lower level. Alright, well, let's go ahead and speak with Odo.
I think we've worn out our welcome.
Yep, let's head back up. Now we got a check mark. I don't know if we missed it or this. I don't know. I'm a little confused here.
Once we return to the upper levels, we will be able to beam up and leave this place. Are you ready to return?
Okay, let's do it. So we learned a lot from that station. Wow, that was a treasure trove of info.
The situation here has become rather combustible. The Hur'q I recognize, of course, but our other opponents remain a mystery. Some new type of Dominion attack craft, perhaps?
No, they're an old enemy, the Fek'Ihri. Ooh, there's a dreadnought over there.
Fek'Ihri? As in the demonic beasts of Klingon folklore?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. It's not every day one encounters mythic creatures.
Yeah, I wish we had Martok and Kern on this, man. They'd have something to say about all this. Those mythic creatures can fight.
I remember Mr. Worf mentioning the Fek'Ihri once.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to see why they concern you.
And Karfi, okay. Ooh, lots of damage here.
These Fek'Ihri ships are tough range and bullets.
There's a dreadnought over here. Look at that thing, man. It's like a floating skyscraper city. I have to get a better position here. I'm taking a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and summon the backcraft.
Reading a massive Hur'q fleet dropping out of warp.
Whoa.
Just as the Fek'Ihri are warping out.
Okay, so they're warping on the warping. Maybe they're not allied? I didn't mean to do that, but let's take all the items and gotta have our salvage here. And then let's bring this back
Looks
up.
like the Fek'Ihri are pursuing the better part of valor. Can't say I blame them. There's a lot of Hur'q out there.
Okay. So maybe the Hur'q and the Fek'Ihri aren't allied, but I don't know. There's got to be some connection, right? Because the Dominion was, you know, experimenting on both of the species.
That was a strange revelation. We've learned we weren't the first soldiers of the Founders, but the first that did not fail. And some of their other attempts remain insane and wild, like rabid animals. I have seen what happens to Jem'Hadar without Ketracel White. How far are we from becoming like the Fek'Ihri?
Yeah.
How far are we from madness? And who will follow us when we fall from grace?
That will not happen, Honored Elder.
Perhaps. There is a saying, it is the hope of all parents that their children will surpass them. As children of the Founders, we can never aspire to be gods, but perhaps someday we can be more than our creators imagined. More than just warriors.
Yeah, but you don't even have children. The Jem'Hadar don't procreate. They're just made in test tubes. Perhaps it will be so, Elder.
The Hur'q seem to be distracted. There's something about the station that's
You are
holding
wasting
their
time.
attention.
We should leave.
We might be able to take advantage of this.
Interesting. Yeah, they are doing something to the state. I guess they're attacking the station, although I don't know if they're very effective or not. I'm not sure what they're trying to do there. Drill into it or something?
Are you suggesting we attack? Well, it's true, we have the advantage.
You
for
are wasting
now.
time.
I don't
we should
think
leave.
we'll hold it for long once we start blowing them apart. We have what we came for. If the Hur'q want to gnaw on an asteroid while we make a hasty exit, I believe we should let them enjoy their meal in peace.
Yeah, Dukan Rex is wanting us to leave, but Odo wants to stay, sounds like.
Very well. We'll deal with the Hur'q later.
Okay.
For now, let's get back.
You are
so
wasting
we can
time.
Analyze
We should
the
leave.
research data we found here. Whenever you're ready.
Dukan Rex, man, you keep talking over the Founder. That's not polite. So yeah, I guess depart system. So that was it? That was it. Not yet. I'm gonna look around here. I wonder if, can I even target these? I don't think these are targetable. I think it's just...
You are wasting time. We should leave.
Oh, quiet you. Yeah, they're just like... yeah, they're not targetable, so they're just part of the scenery at this point.
You are wasting time. We should leave.
I want to check out this Dominion station as well. I didn't get a really good look at it before. It is pretty. Look, one of the Hur'q ships is like stuck. Nice piloting job there, guy. They're like the Pegasus with the phasing cloak. They like phased into the rock, and now they're half solid, like half stuck in it.
You are wasting time. We should leave.
It looks almost like a door, a large docking bay door or something that opens there. Wow, very cool. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and beam
Very
out
well.
here,
We'll deal.
or warp out.
You are wasting time. We should leave.
Wow, I guess that was it, guys. So that was a pretty big lore-intensive episode. Not a lot of combat, but yeah, and actually the last space combat looked like it was going to be really interesting, but then it kind of timed out, and then the Hur'q warped in. We didn't get a really good chance to engage all of the Fek'Ihri's fleet and our dreadnoughts and everything. But wow, what's some major revelations about the whole, like the origin of the Dominion and how they influenced Klingons and Klingon history, and yeah, and how they went through the wormhole. So the wormhole must have been open even way back then. So the Dominion, I mean, the female changeling, how long has she been living? That's crazy, like thousands of years. but she must have known about the wormhole for a really long time. Maybe they just didn't go through the wormhole for thousands of years after they started, after the Hur'q went through. Maybe they didn't want to follow him, but it seems like the Dominion would have known about the other, up and coming, Alpha Quadrant species, like humans, or and the Federation coming together, if they knew that the wormhole was there all that time. All right, let's go ahead and hail and see and close out this mission here.
Our findings today are disturbing. The Fek'Ihri. They were our predecessors. Somehow they rebelled against the Founders and freed themselves from the White, though it seems to have driven them mad in the process. Something was happening with that strange Hur'q as well. It may have been trying to communicate. Perhaps it wanted to surrender. We'll never know. Devorta made sure of that. Typical.
Interesting.
One thing is certain. The Founders won't forget the act of defiance from the Alliance here today. You and I both know their retribution can be sudden and severe. Be on guard. Our uneasy peace with the Alliance could collapse all too soon.
Yeah. We gotta see what the Founders, the female changeling's gonna do about this. This is not gonna go over well. Odo is gonna be in some trouble here. But that was weird. I mean, she was willing to open fire on Odo's vessel, and even though she did say, don't hurt Odo, but I mean, if you're just opening fire on a vessel, anything can happen. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we learned. So how they weaved in the Fek'Ihri was quite a surprise to me, because I was not expecting that at all. I mean, I had a feeling the Hur'q would be eventually brought into the Klingon history, since that was referred to, in one of the Deep Space Nine episodes, the Sword of Kahless, when they found the sword, they mentioned the Hur'q in that episode a few times about how they had a history, and that was the war with the Hur'q. So yeah, I was expecting the Hur'q tie-in, but the Fek'Ihri tie-in was pretty interesting as well. So now those are both originally species that the Founders wanted to make as their sort of warrior race in the Dominion, and eventually the Jem'Hadar were the ones who were the most successful and kind of took that role. And the Fek'Ihri went insane because they lost their addiction to the White, and then the Hur'q. But I'm still not quite sure what Hur'q, because when they that one of the logs mentioned that when they first encountered the Hur'q, they were friendly and intelligent, and now they're just kind of, mindless horde that consumes the galaxy. I'm still wondering what happened there. Did the Founders do something to them during their hibernation cycle or something, or did they try to manipulate them like the Vorta to force them to evolve into a higher, into a higher state, or I don't know. It didn't really explain what happened there, but the consequences are definitely clear because we're facing those right now. And we are definitely going to pick up this unique reward here, this Universal Kit module, the Fek'Ihri Chaos Blaze Mark 12. Is it upgradable? It is upgradable. I only want to try this on my science character. So what do we get? Fire damage. So it doesn't increase the damage for 3 seconds. Does it scale up the... No, it looks like the confuse stays. I'll probably leave it for now. I want to test it out first and see if I like it before committing a bunch of resources to upgrade it, but it looks like it might have potential. Wow, so yeah, guys, that was a really, really interesting episode. That is definitely some lore-heavy explanation going on there. We learned a lot about the founding of the Dominion, both in the timing, how it influenced the Klingons, what other species they were looking at. A lot of history there, and they're definitely older than the Federation, but I guess the Klingons were around back then as well, so not as old Did the Klingons... I'm still wondering, though, did the Klingons have space travel at that time, or were they still more a primitive species? Because it's hard for me to believe that the Klingons had, like, space travel when they were fighting the Hur'q. Because that would have been, like, 1,500 to 2,000 years ago, and there's no way, like, they've had space travel for that long, and yet somehow, like, the Romulans and the Federation caught up to them in technology, even though theirs evolved much later. I mean, the humans have only, had, space travel for a couple hundred, several hundred years at this point, not anywhere near 2,000 years. So yeah, I don't know. The timing is pretty weird there, but still was very interesting. It's really cool to hear about the whole history of the Dominion and, some of their other attempts at creating a warrior race and genetic manipulation. And I like how they tied in the whole history of the Vorta there as well. So cool. All right, so that was a really interesting episode. Definitely pretty light on the combat as far as that goes. Yeah, not a whole lot there. It's a little bit of ground combat with the Fek'Ihri and a little bit of space combat, and then they warped out, and that was it. So not a whole lot of as far as combat goes, but a very interesting storyline and lore going on. And now we're gonna have to find out, hopefully in the next couple episodes here, what is the female changeling gonna do now, and is Odo gonna be like even more ostracized from the founders, or what are the consequences going to be? So we'll look forward to that in the next episode, guys. But for now, I think that's going to wrap this up. And yep, we'll stop it here and we'll pick it up next time. So the next episode is called Quark's Lucky 7. So yeah, that is going to be interesting because this might have a little bit of a different theme to it than some of these other episodes, but I'm betting this is going to be based on the Deep Space Nine episode. I think it was called The Magnificent Ferengi, right? That was absolutely hilarious. Oh man, that episode was great. If you haven't watched it, that episode, I definitely recommend going back and watching that. That was on Cryptic's list of episodes that they recommend watching before doing this story arc. Was the Magnificent Ferengi, and that was a hilarious episode. So we'll see. Maybe this will be a little bit this episode will have a bit of a different tone to it here. Maybe a little bit of a break in the seriousness of the storyline so far. Maybe we'll have a little bit of humor going on with this next one here, Quark's Lucky 7. So looking forward to that. But yep. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.